I hope you all are fit and fine at your places. I'm Priyanka Bish from Arden Progressive School. Today in this session, we'll be discussing about few more topics of chapter 1, which is nature and significance of management. In the previous session, we have learned about the importance of management, objectives of management and nature of management. So in today's session, we will discuss about the further topics. Here it goes. So let's have a look on the topic which we will be covering in this session. The topic for this session is first is levels of management, then we will study about coordination, its characteristics and importance. So let's start with the first topic, which is levels of management. See, as we have already learned in the previous classes that management is a group activity. It means that management does not refer to a single individual, but it refers to a group of persons who are working in an organization. As we know, in company form of business organization, where large number of people are employed, large number of people are working, they are working at different places to perform different managerial activities, and a single person does not carry all the managerial activity. A single person cannot be expert in every activity. That is why in a company form of business organization, there are more and more people who are employed in an organization. So the person who is perfect in some activity or in some task, they are given that task only. For example, if a person is good in sales, he'll be given a sales department. Person who is expert in marketing, he'll be allotted marketing department. So in this way, the managerial activity is being carried by the organization. So as we know, management is a universal term used for certain functions performed by individuals in an enterprises who are bound together in a hierarchy of relationships. So here we can say, as many people are working in an organization, they are performing different managerial activity. To carry on these activities, the employees are given necessary authority and responsibility. Now, what does the term authority means? Authority means power to take decisions, whereas responsibility means to the one who is accountable for the work that has been assigned to him. That is responsibility. So authority responsibility relationship binds the individuals as superior and subordinates, and it gives rise to different levels of management in an organization. Also, every individual in the hierarchy is responsible for successful completion of a particular task. So to be able to fulfill that responsibility, he is given some authority to take decision. So by this we can conclude that the levels of management is basically a chain of authority. Grant of authority means it creates a chain of authority, and this chain is divided into 3 levels. So we can say that there are 3 levels in the hierarchy of an organization: top management, middle management, and operational or supervisory management. So first we will talk about top level management. Now, top level management basically consists of senior most executives of the organizations. This means the people who are working in top level management, they are responsible for leading and directing the efforts of other peoples. So let's have a look upon the example of the people who are working in top level management. Chief Operating Officer, Chief Executive Officer, who is also known as CEO, Chief Marketing Officer, CMO, Chief Finance Officer, CFO, Managing Director, Chairman, President, Vice President, etc. So these are the people who works in the top level management. So basically, all these managers who are working in the top level management have maximum authority. Now, after discussing about the managers who are working in the top level management, we will now discuss about their functions. So, the very first function is to integrate and coordinate. See, as we know, in an organization, there are different departments, and the people who are working in different departments, they have different objectives. So here, the basic task of top level manager is to integrate and coordinate the activities of different departments according to the overall objectives of the organization. So here the manager has a great responsibility. He has to look upon the individual objectives along with the organizational objective. Second is to look after welfare and survival. As we know, top level managers have the maximum authority, which means they have the responsibility of taking the decisions regarding the business organization, their survival, growth, etc. So here, top level managers are responsible for the welfare and survival of the organization. Third is analyze business environment and implications. So the top level managers have to analyze the business environment and its implication for the survival of the business firm. Next is formulate strategies. See, being a top level managers, they are responsible to formulate the main objectives of the organization, and they form long term as well as short term objectives. They are also responsible for framing the plans and policies to achieve the set objectives. So these are some functions of top level management. Here the top level manager have to perform all these functions, and these functions are basically regarding the business organization's decisions, objectives, survival, growth, etc. Now next we have middle level management. So this level of management consists of departmental heads. See, as we know, in an organization there are different departments such as purchases department, sales department, marketing department, production department, etc. So the heads of these departments comes under the category of middle level manager. We can say that middle level management is a link between top and lower level managers, executive of the organization. They act as a linking pin between top and lower level management. So here they are also usually known as divisional head. Now we will see some example of the managers who work under middle level management. Production manager, marketing manager, finance manager, human resource manager. These are the examples of the managers who works in middle level of management. So they also exercise the functions of top level for the department, as they make plans and policies for their department and organize and collect the resources of the department. Now here are some functions of middle level management. First function is interpretation of policies. See, middle level managers basically act as a linking pin between top level and lower level management. The middle level managers, they only explain the main plan and policies which are framed by top level management to lower level management, because the top level managers, they frame the plans and policies, and middle level manager interpret these plans and policies to lower level of management. That is why they are known as a linking pin between top level and lower level management. Second is ensure the sufficient employees are available. See, as we know, there are different departments in an organization, and each department is managed by a departmental heads. So it is the responsibility of a departmental head to appoint, select and recruit the best employee for their department. So basically, this level of manager selects and appoints the employees for their department. Next is assign duties and responsibilities to workforce. After selecting and appointing the employees, the middle level managers assigns the duties and responsibilities to the employees. Next is the middle level managers motivate the workforce. Here the managers tries to motivate by providing them various incentive. The employees who are working in each department, they are provided different incentives as motivation so that they get motivated and they perform to their best ability. Also, the middle level managers make sure that there is a cooperation with all the departments for the smooth functioning of the organization. So these were some function of middle level management. Now the last level of management is called supervisory level management. It is also known as lower level or operational level of management. So foreman and supervisor comprises the lower level in the hierarchy of the management. So this level of managers carry on the work or perform the activities according to the plans of top and middle level management. So we can say that this level of managers have limited authority. They have to work as the plans drawn by the top management. All the quality and the quantity of the output depends upon the efficiency of this level of managers. That means the output of the business organization always depends upon the efficiency of the level of this level of managers. They basically pass on the instruction to the workers and report to the middle level manager. Here, they are also responsible for maintaining the discipline among the workers. So, the managers who are working in the operational level, they are responsible for maintaining the discipline among the workers. Now, here are some functions of the operational level of managers. First function is interaction with the actual workforce. So, here the operational level managers, they interact with the actual workforce and they pass on the instruction of the middle level management to the workers. That means whatever instructions the lower level manager is getting from the middle management, they pass on these instructions to the workers. So we can say here the lower level managers, they represents the problems of the workers directly to the middle level of management, because they are directly linked with the subordinates. So they are the right person to understand the problems of the workers and pass on their problems to the upper level of management. Next is lower level managers oversees the efforts of the workforce, as they are directly linked with the workers, so they can oversee the efforts of the workers. They can represent their problems to the upper level of managers. Third is maintains the quality of output. So the lower level managers, they try to maintain the standard of quality and they also ensure the steady flow of output. The supervisory level managers make sure that the quality standards are maintained by the workers. Next is it ensures the safety protocols. So supervisory level of managers, they provide safe and secure work environment for the workers. The quality of the workmanship and the quantity of the output all depends upon the hard work, discipline and loyalty of the workers. That is why it is said that the quality of the output and the quantity of the output, they are derived directly from the efficiency of the workers. Now, our next topic is coordination. Now, what does the word coordination means? Coordination is basically a process of organizing people or groups so that they work together properly and well. Or we can say it is a harmonious functioning of parts for effective results. See, as we have already studied in the previous lectures, that coordination is a very important part of the organization and it is a very important functions to be performed by manager. manager has to perform the function coordination, as coordination is a process by which a manager synchronizes the activities of different departments, and it is known as coordination. So coordination is important as it integrates the efforts of all the individuals, departments and specialists. See, as we know, in an organization there are different departments and different individuals working in each department. All the departments and the individual in the organization are interdependent. That means they depend on each other for information, they depend on each other for resources to perform their respective activities. So here managers needs to reconcile differences in approach, timing, efforts or interest. At the same time, there is a need to harmonize individual goals with the organizational goals. So by this we can say that yes, coordination is an important essence of management. Now next is coordination, the essence of management. Now why coordination is considered as an essence of management? Here are the reasons. First is planning. As we know, the process of coordination begins at the planning stage when top management plans for the whole organization. So first, as we know, objectives of the organization are to be set up. So the top level management will plan the objectives and strategies for the whole organization. Second is organizing. Based on these plans, organizational structure is developed. That means what are the departments which are to be set up in an organization for the smooth functioning of the managerial activities, such as purchases department, sales department, marketing department, etc. Now, after organizing is staffing. Staff is recruited, selected and trained as per organizational structure and plan. There is a need for the workforce to work in each department, and for that the organization does the staffing process. Then is directing. To ensure the right execution of the plan, directions are given. In directing, there is a major role of superiors and subordinates. Superior directs the subordinates, to motivates the subordinate, and they also instructs them how to do the work. And at last, controlling. Controlling ensures that no discrepancy between plan and actual performance is there. That means whatever the organization has planned, is the things are going according to that plan or not, this can be ensured through controlling function. So we can say that coordination is needed to perform all the functions of management. Next, the coordination is also required at all levels, in top level, middle level and lower level. Top level requires coordination to integrate all the activities of the organization. Middle level requires coordination to balance the activities of different departments. And lower level requires coordination to integrate the activities of workers. So by this we can say that coordination is the essence of management. So now we will discuss about the characteristics of coordination. First characteristic is coordination integrates group efforts. See, the concept of coordination always applies to group efforts. There is no need for coordination when only one single individual is working. As we know, there are different individuals working in an organization who comes from different backgrounds. They have different styles of working. So there is a need to unify their efforts in a common direction. That is why coordination is required. Next is coordination ensures unity of action. See, because individuals who are working in our organization, they come from different background. So here conflicting efforts may cause damage to the organization. So the main aim of every manager is to coordinate the activities and functions of all the individuals to a common goal. So unity of direction is also required here, as coordination ensures all the departmental work in hand and they create a balance in all the department. It acts as a binding force in all the departments. Third is, coordination is a continuous process. Coordination, we can say, is a non-ending function. It is a continuous function, although its degree may vary. For example, the manager works continuously to achieve coordination and maintain coordination, because without coordination, companies cannot work efficiently. Next is, coordination is an all-pervasive function. Now, pervasive here means coordination is required at all levels, in all the departments, and to perform all the functions due to interdependence of various activities on each other. So pervasive here means it is required at all levels and in all departments. It is applied even in a business as well as non-business organization. So by this we can say coordination is a pervasive function. Last is, coordination is the responsibility of all the managers. It is the responsibility of all the managers working at different levels, which means the managers who are working in top level, they try to coordinate the overall plans and policies of the organization. Managers working in middle level, they try to coordinate departmental activities, and managers working in lower level, they try to coordinate the activities of the workers. So these were some characteristics of coordination. Now at last we have importance of coordination. So first importance is growth in size. See, in large organizations where there are more number of people working, each individual has its own needs and objectives. So there is more need to bring together or synchronize the efforts of these employees towards a common goal. Employees who are working in different departments have their different objective. So for organizational efficiency, it is important to harmonize the individual goals and the organizational goals through coordination. Next importance is functional differentiation. As we know, in an organization, the organization is divided into different departments, sections or division, and each department works for the objectives of their individual department. But these departments are somewhere interlinked and interdependent. That means all the departments are dependent on each other. So there is more need to relate and bring together the activities of different sections as they are part of one organization only. So here the coordination is needed to minimize the differences among the departments. And last importance is specialization. In modern organization, there is high degree of specialization. All the specialists or experts feel that they are only qualified people in the organization, and they always take right decision in right direction. But there are number of specialists working in the organization, and if everyone will think that in this way and they work in their own way, it will result into confusion. So there is need to coordinate the activities of all the specialists in a common direction and get the maximum benefits of these specialists. So these were the importance of coordination in an organization. So in this session, we have learnt about the different levels of management and also about the coordination, its importance and characteristics. With this, we have completed the first chapter of business studies. In the next session, we'll start a new chapter. That's all for today. Thank you.